Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week and I hope you're having a great weekend. I only have one question for you. Did you miss me? Well, I missed you and it feels great to be back. I had a tremendous weekend. So much fun. Got to meet so many authors locally. It's amazing until you have events like we had last week for Juneteenth, which is Juneteenth is officially the holiday is tomorrow, but there are festivals going on right now that have been celebrating Juneteenth this entire month of June, and it's just been great to have all of these events planned where local authors can come together, meet and greet, sell their books, talk about their books. It was just a wonderful event. And I hope that that it takes place again next year. I believe this year was the first year for that. So hopefully, they I felt like they did a great job, and I hope they felt that they did a great job. I hope that the community also felt that they did a great job, and this it was the first time, but hopefully it won't be the last time that that events like this take place again. Because they've had different things planned throughout the month, great things. So I'm just glad that I was part of it. And there's a video out there circulating, so I hope you get the opportunity to check it out. All right, so let's get to today's show. The title of today's show is Off the Hook, and the topic is assuming accountability. I'm sorry if you heard that noise in the background. It was actually me adjusting the microphone. All right, so I may be taking you back a little bit, but I have to ask this question too. Do you remember before there were cell phones and the internet? I know those born in the 90s and 2000, well, we'll just say the 2000s probably don't remember anything about telephones because, they've only been introduced to technology such as cell phones and the internet, things of that nature. But anyway, back in the day, we did things the old-fashioned way, dial up. We had to dial the phones. We had to do dial-up internet, all of that, all right? But a busy signal or a continuous ringing signal, no one was home. Frustrating. And, whatever you needed to get off your chest had to wait until someone was there or decided to take your call. Today is even worse. We can instantly ignore those we don't wish to speak to and block all their calls and messages if necessary. Case in point, we have many ways to reach out to everyone, including being responsible for what we say and do. What am I talking about? Well, in today's society, we see people doing the most, but when it comes time to fess up to their activities, no one's home. The same applies to assuming accountability when writing. And this microphone has done it again. All right. There we go. All right. Hopefully it'll stay put this time. For those who still don't know what I'm speaking about, allow me to enlighten you. As writers, we create characters with bold personalities who say and do things we would never speak aloud, but allow the characters to do the talking for us. Hello, that's their role, and the main reason we gave them voices. All the same, we as writers are responsible for that content, good or bad. Don't feel ashamed or belittled for your creativity. Instead, step forward and assume accountability. Whether or not you get points for creating unique and opinionated characters, you should never need to apologize or deny their truths. In my opinion, it shows diversity. This microphone, guys, is going to be the absolute cause of me screaming, and I don't want to. Okay, here we go. Again, it shows diversity and dimension when you create characters who are unabashedly direct and unafraid to hold any punches. Also, we are not excused from the subject matter, quality, and feedback when approached about our work. According to www.academicwritingsuccess.com, these are the 8 qualities of powerful writing. Number 1 is readability. It has to be readable, first of all. That's taking accountability for what you do. If you write something and you don't take time to make sure that it is, as perfect as possible, then you are accountable for that because you wrote it. So that means it's your work, and that means that you are responsible for it. Number 2, focus. That is one of the main dynamics of writing. You need to have that focus. And when you have focus, that means that your characters are also focused. Everything just flows as it should. Number 3, developed gracefully. No one likes anything that has just been tossed together like a salad. We like things where there are steps involved, steps that lead to conclusions, okay? So you need to make sure that you are, taking your time in writing the best story because you will be accountable for that as well. Number 4, flows with continuity. That and the development goes hand in hand together. All these things go together, but those two most definitely, because the story needs to flow, and it needs to flow from one chapter to the next, one paragraph to the next. It makes no sense, if you're talking about one thing and then, the story just goes in a completely different direction. That's because, you didn't have your stuff together, and or you were rushing and you just wanted to get it out there, and that's never good because we know haste makes waste. All right. Number 5, concrete. If you are writing a book that requires you to do some background searching or researching in general, then you need to make sure that your sources are concrete. Whenever I give examples of writing, I always try to cite where I'm getting it from because that's important. You want to give credit where credit is due to those who wrote this and not take credit for it yourself, okay? So make sure everything you do is concrete, okay? Number 6 is well suited for its audience. All right, so we already know that if you want to pitch your work to 6-year-olds, then it needs to be age appropriate, right? So just to say, if we are romance writers and say you do the explicit romance, well, of course, your audience should be adult, okay? I shouldn't have to tell you that. You should already know. But anyway, and also it should be, if it's a certain type of story that you're trying to tell or certain type of genre, then you need to pitch it to that audience, okay? Because people who like sci-fi won't necessarily like romance, okay? So if you're trying to pitch a romance to sci-fi crowds, then you're already getting off to a bad start. So just make sure that everything is in order. All right, so number 7 is compelling. We all want to read compelling words. We want to read compelling works. Even if you're not into reading books, but you like watching movies, that movie won't hold your interest long if it's not compelling, if the characters aren't compelling, if the dialogue is not compelling. So that is very necessary. Whether you're writing or you're reading a book or you're watching a movie, you need that. And number 8 is passionate. Be passionate about everything you do. If you love it, then others will love it as well. And they can feel that. They can tell that. My mother always said that, whenever she cooked, she put love in it. Love was always behind it. And I believe that because, even if she was just making something just so simple, it would taste so good because we know that she prepared it with loving hands and with love in her heart. So everything that you do, anything that you do, make sure that you're passionate about it. And believe me, it will show up. In everything you do, it will definitely show up. Others will be able to see that as well. All right, so, and another important factor is don't make excuses when it's not one or all these things fulfilled, okay? Because, you should try to do it. I mean, there are other qualities of powerful writing, but these were just the 8 that I thought were important, necessary to share with you today. And we should always hold our writing and content to the highest level. Therefore, expect feedback when it's not and accept accountability for it, okay? And these are key factors of writing accountability. And, if you're bold enough to say it, then be more fearless when it's time to be accountable. All right. So that's all I have for you today. And I'm going to try one more time with this microphone before it absolutely drives me batty. Because I don't know what's going on today. It was doing fine until up until a few moments ago. So that's sort of been the gist of this day. Nothing has really gone the way that I expected for it to. I hope you can still hear me. But anyway, let me try one more time. I know you hear it on your end, and I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. There we go. Finally, at the end, it does what it's supposed to do. Isn't that just classic? All right. So, before I let you go, I want to make sure that I share these URLs with you. Of course, the first one is to Spreaker, and that one is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me across all social media. Which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But the only thing that you will see on TikTok are videos basically for my books and the show. Okay, nothing risque or me reciting poetry or anything like that. No, that you will not see, not at this point anyway. But anyway, and you can also check out my my website, and that is at authorvivianemore.com or arthurehshepard.com. You can also check out my blog. I hope you will. That is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. All right. And if you missed today's live show, you can also listen to the recorded episodes, each and every recorded episode, starting from today, going all the way back to many episodes ago. All right. So anyway, on Spreaker, of course, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, GileSaven, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal, Luminary, and Amazon. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find Book Chat with Author Vivian E. Moore. All right. So those were just a few to sort of help you out a bit. All right. So tomorrow's worship day. And, I always get excited when I talk about that, and I hope you get excited as well. I hope you're planning to attend service somewhere, if it's in the brick and mortar building, or if you are still, attending those services from home. Just make sure that, that you're attending somewhere, and invite your family and your friends to also attend those services. And children, because, with so much going on in the world today, They need that reassurance as much as we do. And, tomorrow is Father's Day. I'm so excited about that. I have an ex-husband, and then I have sons that are fathers. So I'm excited for them to celebrate with them. So I hope that you all, those that have husbands or have sons with children, that you've made plans to spend that special day with them, because, I always say without fathers, we could not be mothers. So, everybody plays their part. And I'm especially partial to fathers. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And remember to tell those, that you care about the most, how much you care about them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.